The protection of the President of the United States is one of the most complex, secretive, and highly coordinated systems ever created in human history. Every moment is calculated, every step is planned, and every decision is made with one goal in mind: prevent anything from happening to the commander-in-chief. Most Americans see only what is visible on camera: agents in black suits, sunglasses, polished shoes, and discreet earpieces standing near the president. But the truth is, those agents are just the surface. The real protection happens far beyond the public eye, in hidden rooms, secured communication centers, intelligence offices, highly guarded databases, and strategic planning locations around the world. The system is not only national, it is global, woven through embassies, military bases, cyber command units, and surveillance networks that never sleep. It is a web made of people, technology, procedure, and secrecy, where failure is not an option. It begins with the United States Secret Service. Many people think the Secret Service works only as bodyguards, but the agency is actually a massive, multifaceted organization with divisions specializing in protection, investigation, intelligence, cybersecurity, surveillance, medical response, threat assessment, counter-sniper operations, electronic defense, and public event planning. The Secret Service protects presidents, vice presidents, visiting heads of state, former presidents, and the families of these individuals. The agents who serve on presidential detail go through some of the toughest training in the federal system. They learn advanced driving, tactical combat, psychological threat recognition, emergency evacuation techniques, suspect communication analysis, and split-second decision-making. They study everything from bomb forensics to sniper countermeasures to digital tracking. These men and women spend years mastering skills most people never think about, and they are constantly training even when they are already part of the presidential security structure. They don't simply react to threats. They prevent threats before they exist. Before the president even wakes up in the morning, multiple intelligence teams have already studied threat reports, analyzing what is known as threat intelligence grids. These documents include online threats, extremist chatter, surveillance reports from electronic monitoring systems, suspicious purchases of weapons or chemicals, travel patterns of known suspects, and communication between foreign groups. Most of this information never reaches the news. People never hear about the intercepted messages, the online comments flagged, or the overseas agents identified and neutralized before they could take action. The president's protection involves constant anticipation. The idea is not to wait for danger to appear. It is to detect danger before it reveals itself. Whenever the president travels, security becomes a theater of strategy. On the surface, people see a presidential motorcade, a long line of black SUVs, police bikes, ambulances, and armored limousines rushing through city streets. But what Americans don't realize is that every element of that motorcade has a precise purpose. There is never a wasted vehicle. The vehicles are arranged in layers of protection. There are scouts at the front who check for changes in street conditions or unexpected vehicles. There are lead police, cars whose job is to shut down intersections and create time buffers between the president and traffic. There are decoy SUVs disguised to look like the president's vehicle. There are counter-assault teams who carry heavy weapons and are trained to neutralize threats instantly. There is a medical support vehicle staffed with trauma doctors and surgeons. There are communication trucks carrying encrypted radio technology, and at the center is the Beast, the presidential armored limousine, the most recognizable symbol of modern protection. The Beast is not a normal car. It is a rolling fortress with armor so thick it can stop not only bullets but also explosive fragments. The windows are bulletproof and airtight. The tires are reinforced with Kevlar. The car's structure is designed to withstand biochemical threats and weaponized gas. There are fire suppression systems built in, emergency oxygen supplies, and medical kits including blood matching the president's type. There are communication systems linked directly to secure military satellites. No one besides a small group of trained specialists knows every secret about the Beast, and that secrecy is intentional. It is a vehicle designed to be unpredictable and unstoppable. When the president travels by helicopter, the call sign Marine One becomes one of the most recognizable images on television. The sight of a green and white helicopter lifting off from the lawn of the White House is familiar to millions of people, but what they don't see are the unseen helicopters traveling right next to it in the sky. Marine One never flies alone. Multiple identical helicopters take off together so no outsider can track which one is carrying the president. They switch formation mid-air, making it impossible to follow a single target. These helicopters are equipped with countermeasures, including systems that can blind enemy radar or trick heat-seeking missiles. They have armor, tactical communication equipment, night vision systems, and emergency escape features that can activate instantly. Even more secretive is Air Force One, known around the world as the Flying White House. This aircraft is designed to run the entire U.S. government while airborne. Inside are meeting rooms, secure chambers, communication centers, sleeping quarters, offices, and a medical operating room. It has its own chefs, staff facilities, and top-secret communication lines that are encrypted so completely that no outside power can listen in. Air Force One can refuel mid-air, allowing it to stay airborne for long periods during a national emergency. It has advanced radar, electronic countermeasure systems, missile defense technology, and shielded communication channels. Fighter jets can escort it through protected airspace if needed. Nobody knows its full technological capability except those who built it, and they are sworn to secrecy. When people imagine presidential security, they often think of dramatic movie scenes in which agents dive to protect the president. But in reality, presidential protection is much more subtle and invisible. One of the most critical components is something called advance work. Whenever the president plans to visit a location, a team arrives long before he does. They inspect routes, entrances, and exits, surrounding buildings, rooftops, windows facing the event site, and underground utilities. They examine the crowd flow, street lighting, security barriers, and even sewer systems and storm drains. They work with local police, fire departments, federal agencies, and private venues. They rehearse evacuation routes, medical transport routes, and safe rooms. They examine potential sniper positions and make decisions about which areas must be closed or monitored. In many cases, they install hidden surveillance cameras, radio listening devices, and sensors that detect chemical or explosive threats. Hidden above the crowds are Secret Service counter-sniper units positioned on rooftops and high vantage points. They use long-range rifles, optical scopes, heat detection sights, and communication headsets to watch for possible danger. These snipers work with spotters who read wind speed, distance, and environmental conditions in order to neutralize a threat with pinpoint accuracy if necessary. They do not wait for a gunman to fire. Their training is to identify a weapon the moment it becomes visible and to eliminate the threat instantly if required. The public rarely sees these snipers because they are intentionally hidden. They blend into architecture, shadows, or structure edges. They might be camouflaged behind rooftop equipment, in a window of a building, or disguised as maintenance workers. Their existence is rarely discussed openly by officials, but they are always there. A large part of security planning involves human behavior analysis. The Secret Service does not just watch for obvious suspects. They watch body language, eye movement, direction of gaze, unusual clothing choices, and abnormal reactions when the president appears. They study the way a person's shoulders move, how tightly someone holds a bag, where a person looks when the president speaks. They have trained to pick out nervous behavior from hundreds of faces in seconds. They know how to spot an individual who is too calm, too tense, or too focused. The brain becomes a threat analysis. Even when events appear calm, layers of protection are always operating. Communication channels constantly relay information among different agents, teams, vehicles, and command posts. There is a main command center overseeing everything, often located miles away. There are backup communication systems in case of disruption. There are encrypted radios that cannot be monitored or tracked by outsiders. Every agent uses code names when referring to the president, family members, and operational details. This is not just tradition, it is protection. Code names prevent clarity if anyone attempts to listen. The president is never referred to by real name on open radio channels. Even when speaking casually, agents maintain secrecy habits. Beyond physical protection is digital protection. In the 21st century, cybersecurity has become just as important as weapon defense. Threats no longer come only from guns or bombs. They come from hacking attempts, cyberspying, disinformation, data manipulation, GPS tracking, and foreign intelligence interception. The president's phones are controlled devices that cannot install regular apps. They have special encryption systems. They are monitored by cyber defense units. Even when the president communicates with world leaders, the communication runs through secure satellite channels controlled by U.S. cyber command divisions. The White House uses protected networks that are constantly tested for vulnerabilities. The Secret Service works with the NSA, the FBI, and international intelligence partners to track digital threats long before they reach national networks. Protection is no longer only about guarding the president's body. It is about guarding their information. Hidden inside presidential security is something known as continuity of government. Every moment of every day, the United States has emergency plans in place in case something catastrophic happens to national leadership. There are secure underground facilities in unknown locations where government officials can relocate instantly. These facilities include independent power, water, communication systems, and food supplies. They are designed to withstand attacks. Their exact locations are highly classified. During major crises, military helicopters, secure vehicles, and backup aircraft are ready to evacuate leadership within minutes. These emergency plans allow the government to keep functioning, even if disaster strikes. Even when everything looks calm, protection never stops. When the president sits at a restaurant table, there is a plan in place. Agents choose the table placement, back exit routes, closest hospital, and safe transport location. When the president walks into a hotel, every floor has been inspected, security cameras repositioned, windows checked, water lines examined, and stairwells secured hours before arrival. When the president appears on stage, the speech location is chosen based on bullet trajectory science, potential escape tunnels, and visibility radius. People see a stage, a microphone, and a curtain, but they don't see the preparation days behind it. The nuclear football is another mysterious part of presidential protection. This briefcase, carried by a military aide, is always within feet of the president. It contains emergency codes and plans that allow the president to communicate with the Pentagon and Strategic Command. The contents are strictly secret. Only a few officials ever see how it works. The briefcase represents ultimate national power, and that's why security around it is extremely tight. Every major part of the president's life is interwoven with protection. Every phone call is secured. Every travel route is planned. Every person who comes close is screened. Even invitations to events are checked using security databases. Anything unusual triggers deeper analysis. There are individuals whose entire job is to watch crowd faces on camera, scanning eyes and hands in motion. There are analysts studying unusual purchases of chemicals or weapons nationwide. There are data trackers monitoring sudden hotel reservations near travel locations. There are personnel reading social media posts related to political threats. The president's family is protected using similar levels of caution. Children have secured schools, trained drivers, armored vehicles, planned play schedules, and background-checked caretakers. Family outings look casual but are coordinated with protective agents in plain clothes. Family communication devices are secured. Public schedules are controlled. One of the most remarkable things about presidential security is that the public rarely sees when a threat happens because threats are stopped long before they become visible. A person making a violent social media comment may get a silent visit from agents. A suspicious car left near a route might be quietly removed hours before an event. Someone trying to get too close to a restricted area might be intercepted before people notice. Sometimes agents pretend situations are normal even when danger is near, so the public never panics. The system evolves constantly. Security teams learn from world events, history, and changing technology. They continuously update equipment, procedures, routes, and intelligence strategies. What protected presidents 10 years ago is not the same as what protects them now. Cyber threats, drones, biological danger, and digital spying have changed how protection functions. Teams now include drone detection technology, chemical sensors hidden in crowds, thermal imaging devices, and crowd AI recognition. Protecting the president is not just about one agent jumping in front of a bullet. It is about hundreds of quiet decisions made without attention. It is about preventing danger without anyone realizing danger existed. It is about analyzing behavior, securing information, tracking digital signals, studying locations, preparing escape routes, communicating silently, planning milliseconds at a time and being ready for everything even if nothing happens. What Americans see on television, a calm walk to a podium, a wave to a crowd, a smile and a handshake, is built on thousands of invisible actions. The agents remain silent, the equipment hidden, the communication encrypted, the nerves controlled. There is no applause, no attention, no recognition. Just the quiet, constant responsibility to protect the leader of the United States. It is a system designed not for credit or glory, but for survival and continuity. Because in the world of presidential protection, success is invisible and failure is unacceptable.